Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jason. I'm your watch guy today. Now there are certain brands that I would love to show every single one of you, but I just can't seem to get on the channel. Every time I get the chance, it's just not the right time. Now, one of those brands is Zelos. They are a micro brand that make absolutely brilliant watches at a really affordable price in a lot of their models. They do offer some higher end models now. They do offer very exotic dials too. So there is the higher end for them now, but primarily they came about offering absolute bargains on the market. And today I have one of them. Now I do have to say a big thank you to a subscriber called Jason. Obviously not me. I don't think I subscribe to my own channel anyway. Jason was kind enough to send me in his Zelos Mako version 3, and it's an absolutely stunning watch. Wait until you see the dial on this one. It's something else. So thank you very much for sending this in, Jason. It's been an absolute pleasure having it for the last week or so. It's completely convinced me that I need one of these in my collection, and I think a lot of you do too. So without further ado, let's turn this camera around and let's get into this review. So this is the Zelos Mako version 3. Now, as you can see, it's got a really special dial on this one, and I will get into that very soon. A little bit of history behind these. They sold out pretty much as soon as they went onto the market. I believe the pre-order price was $370. The RRP was supposed to be $440, but they never made it to the $440 mark. They sold out, as a lot of Zelos watches do. The best thing that I've been advised is that as soon as you see them announced, get onto it and just buy one. And I have not done that yet. Thankfully though, I have some very supportive subscribers, which is always nice and helpful. Now let me talk to you about the dimensions of this watch, because it is very wearable. It is very comfortable on wrist also. So it is 41 millimeters in diameter. Thick, it is 14.25 millimeters, which is a pretty standard type of level for a dive watch. Lug to lug is 46.3 millimeters, and the lugs come in at 20 millimeters. Lots of strap options for this one, and I will show you some of them later on. Now this is actually packed with a Miyota, and you know that I am not the biggest fan of Miyotas, but I always say if it's a Miyota, I need it to be a 9000 series, and this one is a 9000 series. It is the Miyota 9015. It is a 28,800 beats per hour movement, and just look at that second hand beating away there. So smooth, so elegant. It's just, yeah. So for me, wearing this for the last week or so on and off, it's really changed a lot of my opinions on Miyota, and show me that the higher end Miyotas are much better and much more of a good option. It also aids in the more thin case that you can fit to this watch. Now, as I said, the Zelos comes in a really compact and wearable casing. It's very much like the Seiko type of casing that you'd expect. Their dive watches are always bigger in form and look to be big on wrist, but they are very wearable and very compact. They do it very well. It is a stainless steel 316L casing. We have really good levels of brushing on this one. Obviously this isn't new out of the box, so well actually I think Jason's kept this in really good condition, to be fair. There's no marks on it. So you can still see the really good levels of brushing on this one. They also have really nice machined edges across the tips of the lugs here and along this side, flowing from the crown, sort of fitting inside with the crown guard and flowing along this edge to meet the lug. That's high polish, and it gives a really nice accent to the casing. I really do like that. It shows that they thought about the casing a lot more. Obviously they could have just brushed the entire thing, but they've given it nice little accents, nice little styling tips. I do believe that the machining along the edges does give this case a lot of character, and it gives it a bit more of a presence when you're looking at it. Now the crown is down here at the 4 o'clock. It's kind of tucked away a little bit, not completely. It's not got massive crown guards at the side of it, but it does have this slight sloping guard to its side here, and it is a screw down crown. First click is obviously for the date window down here, and second for the minute and hour hand. And this Miyota is a hacking movement, which is nice to see. Obviously you don't get that in the 8215, which is very common amongst budget watches. Screw that back in here. It is a signed crown, and another nice little thing that Zelos do is they lume their crowns, which is really impressive. It's a nice piece of quality in a dive watch. We all know that we love our lume, especially on this channel. You know I'm a big fan of divers, and I am a big fan of well-lumed watches, and that is what Zelos do very well, their lume. So I'll just insert the lume shot of the crown just here for you. Very nice to see that little style and piece on there. As well as the screw down crown, we have this screw down case back. As you can see, a shark logo in the center of this Mako's case back. We have the Zelos Mako V3 300 meter 316L SS at the top there. It's also numbered down at the bottom, 149 out of 200. So they only made 200 of this midnight blue variant, and obviously they sold quickly. And you can see why. Only 200 of these in the world, and look at it. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. If I had my time again, I'd have picked one up. Moving on to this bezel. We have a 120 click unidirectional bezel. It has a very lovely tool click to it, and it's very, very good in the action. As you can see, I'll just spin it back around here. Very definitive clicks, hardly no play at all really. Nothing at all. Absolutely brilliantly fitted to this here casing. We have this tooth-like design around the edge of the bezel, which makes it very easy to grip onto. This insert is a ceramic insert, but it's also a brushed ceramic insert, which goes really well with the rest of the brushing on the casing. It's not very reflective, and it kind of fits with the design a lot better. Now, this bezel is also lumed with C3 Superluminova. Again, Zelos do very well with their lume. That is one of the things that they're known for. As you can see, it's a blue ceramic bezel insert with very nice accented white features with the 10-minute Arabics around the bezel and 5-minute batons. Very nice bezel, rather thin. It is thin in form, but that plays to the feature of this watch, and I'll explain that a little later on. Moving on to the crystal in this watch, it is a sapphire double domed box style crystal. It has a sort of vintage feel to the crystal, and it really does give a little bit of depth to that dial. It gives a little bit of depth to the casing, and I think it's a very nice feature for this watch. I think it really plays a big part in the styling of the watch. Altogether, this casing provides the watch with 300 meters of water resistance, or 1,000 foot, which does throw it straight into that divers category and throws it rather comfortably into that divers category. The biggest feature on this watch is this galoche Whirlpool Dial. It's absolutely gorgeous. As well as that galoche feature, it's also a sunburst dial. So as you can see, as I move it around, hitting different angles of the light in here, it has so many different colours in it. Depending on where you're looking at it, what angle you're hitting it from with the light, it's got so many different dials, if you get what I mean. It's got so many different looks to it. The 3D effect of it is brilliant. If that was it on its own, it'd be a fantastic dial. But the fact that they've matched it with this sunburst colour, this blue, that you can catch it in a certain light, like here, and it looks like it's got accents of white. You catch it against the light and it looks like it's almost black at the edges of the dial with this little blue wave flowing through it. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And I found myself staring at the watch to catch the time, but I end up just staring at it and staring at it and staring at it because it's just a lovely piece to look at. This is when dials start to flow into a piece of art, and it's just absolutely stunning to look at. I can't speak highly enough of this dial design. They've nailed it, absolutely nailed it. And I'll go as far to say that this is my new favourite dial. This blows the Seiko Save the Ocean out of the water for me. It's just absolutely amazing. And that's a big thing for me to say, because up to now, that's the best dial I've ever seen. But this just, it's just something else. It's a different level, completely different level. So this dial is accented by these applied indices. The indices are large, filled with lume and bordered with a stainless steel effect border. Now we have the double pointed indice at the 12 o'clock, two triangular formed indices at the 3 and 9, and down here at the 6 o'clock we have the date window cut out, but it's also sort of forming into this sort of triangular form, and it flows with the other indices very well. They could have just put a box down there and left the tip of the indice out, but they haven't, and they thought about that again and they've made the right decision. This date wheel is also colour matched to the dial, which is a very good choice from Zelos. As well as that, they fitted at the 6 o'clock and it's got so much symmetry through the dial, which is an absolute feature in my eyes. I love a watch that has a symmetrical type of feel to it. I just think it makes it look clean. The dial, as the dial's doing a lot for itself in the design, it's also keeping everything very clean and neat and easily readable, which again, they've done really well. The rest of the indices are circular indices, and we have a really thin yet still present chaptering around the outer edge of the dial. Now this dial is actually really large in stature. As I said before, the bezel is quite thin, as is that minute track, and it makes the watch really easy to read. It makes it very nice to look at. The dial has a lot of presence in this watch. As well as being a really nice dive or tour watch and having all the features that it needs to have, the dial is left to be a feature of its own. You know, it's left to be a stunning watch as well as a very functional watch. Up at the 12 o'clock here, we have a stainless steel polished Zelos logo. And down at the 6 o'clock, we have 300 meters, 1000 foot automatic, which obviously signifies the water resistance and the movement in the back of this Zelos. We have a thin, almost sword style handset on this one. It has a stainless steel polished border with lume center. Again, the lume is very good on these, and I will show you that in a second. We have a nice accenting yellow second hand with a nice baton at the end of it, which is also lumed. Now that nice accent pulls away from the whole blue feature of this watch and makes a sort of statement on its own, as well as matching with the 300 meter print at the bottom. I think that's a really nice feature for them to put into this watch. It breaks the watch up very well. So as I've promised, here is the lume shot for this watch. Absolutely brilliant from Zelos. It's something that you will come to expect from Zelos if you get into the brand, if you start to pay attention to the brand. That's one thing that they've always done well, that I've seen. They've always made well-lumed pieces, and that is something that draws customers in, I think. I think it's a sign of quality myself, and it's something that draws me to a watch, so I'm sure it would be a feature for you guys too. So if we move away from the casing of this watch, we have this stainless steel bracelet. Now the stainless steel bracelet wasn't included in the pricing of the watch. I believe they were around like £40 as an additional extra, but it's a really good quality bracelet. It's very comfortable, and it's all you could ask for in a bracelet, to be honest. Full 316L stainless steel. It has a double pusher clasp with a safety clasp signed negatively with the Zelos logo, which is very nice. It's a nice piece of quality, and you can tell that this clasp has been machined really well. A lot of effort has gone into the manufacturing of it. It is a milled clasp, as you would have noticed. The links are screw links, which I love to see. That's another piece of quality that I look for in a watch. Now I'm just going to pop this on wrist. You may think that this one is probably the one that gets away from the moan section. Unfortunately not, but I will say before that, I do not care about these moans. I just don't. Like, this watch has taken me aback. It's shown me that the amount of quality that you can actually pick up for as little as less than $400. It's just incredible. It sets the market apart. Honestly, it really does. So this is the Zelos on my 6.2 inch wrists. Very wearable, conforms to my wrist very well, and honestly, it's a pleasure to wear. It really is. I'll just show you the clasp around here. Absolutely lovely piece. Absolutely gorgeous. And genuinely, I am gutted to send it back. I'm sure Jason will be made up to have this one back in his collection. I wouldn't take it off wrist. I mean, I get that I'd have to because I review other watches, but if this was a one watch collection, you'd be happy with it. You really would be. let me get this on wrist and try and point out a few negatives and see if I can be a bit more objective about it. So the first thing that I will point out is the case back of this watch. It's not very well machined, I'd say. It's got a few sharp edges. It's not blended to the case back. I get that it's different, it is. And they've done a little bead blasted, sandblasted effect around the edge of the shark, and it accents it really nicely. But it does feel like the case back was just a little bit of an afterthought on this watch. I mean, I'll be honest with you, they've nailed every other part of it, and I'm not going to be looking at the case back when I'm wearing it. So it's not really that big of a deal. It's just that when you're clutching at straws for things that they could improve, that's the one thing that comes to mind. As well as that, this bracelet is absolutely amazing, and I would pay the extra £40, I don't know what it was, but I'd pay the extra for it because it's a brilliant bracelet. But I'd like to see that included in the price. If you're going to offer something as nice as this, you should include that bracelet. One other thing that I will point out is that the bracelet's a little bit weird. Well, the edge of the casing's a little bit weird. It looks like it's got a false link built into the casing. I wasn't a massive fan of that when I first got the watch out of the box. I kind of thought that's a bit weird. But having worn it for a week or so and really got to let it grow on me, I don't mind it, to be honest. Maybe I'd have liked the bracelet to be fitted nicely into the lugs, but I guess if you're going to fit this onto a different strap, as I'll show you in a sec, it's a nice bit of a feature. So guys, as promised, this is the Zelos on one of Haverston's really gorgeous blue straps. They've got this colour option from a Carrier in the 1940s, I believe, if I remember right. So yeah, as I've mentioned in the Haverston video a couple of days ago, they relate everything that they've got to military history and things of the like. Their website is in the description, go and have a look at them. But just to show you that this watch is so versatile on so many different options. Obviously the stainless steel bracelet was not supplied with these, and they did come originally on rubber bands, I believe, which I think also is a good option. You can dress this so many different ways. It's such a versatile watch. So back onto the stainless steel bracelet, and all ready to be posted back to Jason. I'm sure, as I said, he'll be made up to have this one back in his collection. One thing I will say, just before I turn this camera back around for my conclusion, Zelos have actually completely nailed this. And it's just, it outdoes anything that I've seen on the market for that price. It really does. $350, I think that works out now about £300. And I just don't see a watch that's bettering this for £300 at the moment. Maybe I'm wrong. Give me some examples. Show me that I'm wrong. But at the moment, this has been my absolute favourite at that price. It genuinely has. It just ticks so many boxes, and I have none to hardly any complaints about it. I really don't want to send this watch back. I mean, I'm going to, because you know that it's not my watch, but oh, it's just so gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And Jason has got himself an absolute amazing timepiece here, an amazing diver, really is. Now, I know that Zelos have an absolutely amazing marketing team. Buttering them up already, yeah. So I suspect that they will probably watch this video, and if not already, I will be trying my best to get this video in front of them, and I would love to review any more pieces that they have to send me. I would take anything. You know, it's coming up to that time of the year. It's Christmas, it's my birthday immediately after. That can be your present to me. Just put me on your list. Go on. Guys, thank you very much for watching this video. I've linked Zelos in the description. Obviously, this is their watch, but I'm really sorry I can't say go over there and buy one, because they're gone. They're all gone. And deservedly so. At a limited run piece, at this quality, for that price, it's going to sell out every time. So if you get the opportunity, if you get any slight opportunity to pick one of these up at retail, do it. I'd even say go pay the premium. I've seen these on eBay at £450, and I guess that's probably samurai range. That's a good samurai range. Yeah, I think this competes. This definitely competes. Now I'm going to stop whittling on here because obviously we've got other things to do. So just go down into the comments and tell Zelos that you'd love to see their pieces on this channel again. Please. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.